I pulled this little video clip off a Green Road blog who is very anti-nuclear. He's put this little video clip up under his blog. Check out a Green Road blogspot.ca. Anyway, it's a very smart guy from an economic point of view, I suppose, called Rifkin. He's going to talk about nuclear. Listen to this guy.
Video. I don't spend much time on nuclear technology unless someone asks me about it, because frankly, I think from a business perspective, it's over. I think it's over. Let me explain why. There may be a lot of ideological issues, but from a business perspective, here's the situation. Nuclear power was pretty well dead in the water in the 1980s after 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl. It had a comeback. The comeback was the industry said, we are part of the solution for climate change because we don't emit CO2 with nuclear. It's polluting, but there's no CO2.
Okay, so just as a quick note, I'm not going to interrupt too much. The idea of climate change, it started with global warming and then it turned over into climate change. So the nuclear industry captured the idea, or created the idea of climate change in order to keep their foot in the door. This is what he's saying in a roundabout way. So he's an economist enlightening us to the reason why nuclear is insane, stupid from a business perspective. Let's listen to him.
Here's the issue, though. All of our scientific projections are interesting on this. Nuclear power right now is 6% of the energy of the world. There are only 400 nuclear power plants. They rely on 6% of the energy of the world. These are old nuclear power plants. But our scientists tell us to have a minimum impact on climate change, which is the whole rationale for bringing this technology back. Nuclear would have to be 20% of the energy mix to have the minimum impact on climate change, not 6% of the mix. That means we'd have to replace the existing 400 nuclear plants and build 1,600 additional plants. 3 nuclear plants have to be built every 30 days for 40 years to get to 20%.
Of course, what he fails to mention to people is that if you build 1,600 new nuclear plants, what they like to call the carbon footprint would be so off the chart, it would take probably 200 years to recover all the, if it were true that nuclear was clean, cheap and safe, but if it was clean and would contribute to climate change, the reduction of climate change, the carbon footprint left by mining and all the construction, the cement that would have to be produced, the enormous amount of carbon input on this is off the charts, which he doesn't mention, but just as a backdrop. Yeah, let's go.
And by that time, climate change will have run its course for us. So I think from a business point of view, I just don't see that investment. I'd be surprised if we replace 100 of the 400 existing plants, which would take us down to 1 or 2% of the energy. Number 2, we still don't know how to recycle the nuclear waste, and we're 70 years in. Now, we have good engineers in the U.S. We spent 18 years and $8 billion building an underground vault in Yucca Mountain to store the waste for 10,000 years. We can't use it. We can't even store them. It's already no good because there are cracks in the mountain. But any geologist could have told them, we live on tectonic plates. You can't keep underground vaults secure. Number 3, we run into uranium.
This should also apply to the DGR, the Deep Geological Repository. They're hoping to put beside Lake Huron here in Ontario, up at Kincardine, the Bruce power plant, which is the biggest nuclear power plant on the planet. There might be another one in Jakarta somewhere on the island there, but Bruce is pumping out huge amounts of nuclear waste, and they want to dump their medium low-level waste underground, like this fellow has just said. It's not safe. Geologists, there's no such thing as a safe underground deposit. Let's keep going. The DGR here, sign a petition to stop this DGR madness.
Uranium deficits, according to the International Atomic Energy Commission, you may know this, between 2025 and 2035 with just the existing 400 plants. So that means the price goes up. Number 4, we could do what the French generation of new plants are doing and recycle the uranium to plutonium. But then we have plutonium all over the world in an age of uncertainty and terrorism. And then finally, and this is the big one that people don't realize, we don't have the water. Over 40% of all the fresh water consumed in France each year goes to cooling the nuclear reactors. It's almost 50% now. When it comes back, it's heated and it's dehydrating our agricultural and ecosystems, and it's threatening our agriculture.
It's not only heated, it's very likely radiated. This is something that also doesn't, it's not just cooling going through a secure system. These systems are not secure the way they say, so this water has been radiated when it comes back. Let's listen some more.
We don't have the water, and this is true all over the world. We have saltwater nuclear plants, but then you have to put them on coastal regions and you risk a Fukushima because of tsunamis and ocean currents. And I would say the last thing on this is that nuclear power is centralized power. We'll talk about this tonight, like fossil fuels. It doesn't fit a new generation that's moving with the kind of technologies that are distributed, collaborative, and laterally scaled. It's an old technology. So it's no accident Siemens is out, Germany is out, Italy is out, Japan is now out, and I think with President Hollande's election, I met with him in the spring, they're moving toward a third industrial revolution model in France. I think I'd be surprised if nuclear has much of a life left. I don't think it's a good business deal.
I agree.
Oh, look, there's some clapping. Oh, economists are clapping. Anyway, yeah, I'll put this up. Just another nail in their coffin. Why pretend? It's finished. It's done. Let's get on the plan. Let's get on the plan to remove all this irrational, greedy money grab called nuclear. Get it off our planet while we still have time. And the people that put it there and have enriched themselves to enormous amounts, and the 1% is eyeball deep in this subterfuge of having removed a huge portion of the wealth on the planet into these nuclear facilities, and they should pay for removing them all. That's my plan.